If your Playwright tests break every time UI changes, you are probably using the wrong locators. Today, I'll show you a better way. The locator Playwright itself recommends. Most people use XPath in Playwright, but Playwright was never designed for XPath first. It was designed for getByRole. Hi, my name is Aniket Khaire. I am working as an SDET at a product-based company. In this video, you'll understand what is getByRole, how it internally works, why it is better than XPath, real examples, and interview ready points. So let's get started. Yeah, there are hundreds of videos out there showing how to write a getByRole locator, but no one actually shows how to write the getByRole locator using the accessibility tree which Playwright uses. And if you don't know how to use an accessibility tree, then you are just guessing your locators. So now I'll demonstrate you about the practical example how to use a getByRole locator. So now this getByRole locator has different roles, like alert is there. There is, you can say, heading is there, which is nothing but the H tag over there. Link is there. Link is nothing but the A tag. Combo box is nothing but the combo box which is present. Button, we'll always use buttons, right? So button is there. The role checkbox is there. The role radio button, which is nothing but radio in Playwright, it's there. And text box we'll often use. So this is the text box over here. Now there are different options over here. If you check the different options, like the checked, that is nothing boolean, disabled, that is boolean, exact, if you want to match the exact naming, so you'll have a boolean, expanded, then you will have a boolean, include hidden, that is boolean, level, this is important, interesting one, that is number, name, so that is a name which is nothing but a string, pressed, that is boolean, and selected, that is nothing boolean. So these are all the different options which are present for a role. So we'll jump quickly to the test and we'll find out. Now I'll just copy paste the text which is present over here. Sorry, my bad. Now I'll go to Flipkart. Okay. If I go to Flipkart, yeah. So yeah, this is, I can say, yeah, flipkart.com. Now I'll go to something like, you can say, login. Okay, so we'll take this example as login. Now many videos, right, on YouTube circulate that you just need to hover over that element and then you just need to check the span over here, that is nothing but the name login. So now this is completely wrong. You need to go to the A tag, you need to move to accessibility over here. Now as you can see, the name over here, it is showing as login. It has the role is kind of link, then the URL is this, and focusable, it is true. The name over here is login. Okay, now if I go to my test, I'll just simply write get started, or I'll just duplicate that name, like I said, Flipkart login button. Okay, now I'll quickly copy paste the URL which is there in the Playwright. Yeah, Playwright getByRole, this is not needed. I'll get, yeah. So now if I check this login, right, so I quickly hover over that element. Now I'll go to the A tag which is present. Now you can see the name is login. Okay, so this I copied over here, and the role, close these tabs, role is nothing but the role is link over here. So you got a link which is there, and what is the name over here, that is login. So I'll just click login and paste it, and just simply click, and I'll put a breakpoint over here just to understand the things. So yeah, so breakpoint. Now I'll do test.only and quickly run the test. Yeah, my Chromium browser has launched. Login. It says passed over here. If I go to debug, JavaScript debug terminal. Yeah, I'll make the debug terminal right now. I'll go to the debugger. Chromium has launched. Login now. As you can see, the login has clicked. Okay, now the name is login over here, right? So I'll quickly close the test. Yeah, now as you can see, the name is login. I'll just remove the login over here and check. If I do the run of the test, let's wait for the Chromium to launch. Yeah, the browser has launched, and you check. Yeah, we got an error over here. Basically, it is saying that the strict mode is violated, and there are two elements with name login. So one is with login, and the another one is login. So it is telling me what to use. If you want to match with the login, you just need to have an exact true over here. So if I do login, now I'll do exact, that is nothing but a true. And this option, right, the exact is present over here. And you can see it accepts a parameter that is Boolean. So yeah, exact true, and I will just quickly run the test over here. Yeah, as you can see, link, let me hover over it. Yeah, as you can see, the login is been clicked when the text is matching exact. So Playwright will also tell you what is the locator if there is a strict mode violation. So that is one of the useful features over here in Playwright. So yeah, I'll quickly stop the test. Yeah, the Playwright test has been completed. Now the next thing is we can go to this website for practicing. That is nothing but w3.org example index. Now I'll go to a button. Okay, now this is a button, and I want to do something like a mute. Click on mute. Okay, so I'll go to this page. I'll go to my inspect element, click on mute. Now as you can see over here on mute, so the area, so the area attributes, basically not area, it's area attributes. So the name is mute over here, the role is button over here, pressed is false over here. If I click on this, now the press has become true over here. Okay, so yeah, so you can check this. Now if I by default load the page, it will be mute. Okay, so if I go to this page, and yeah, it is checked as false over here, the pressed is false. Now if I quickly open up my test, I'll copy my test and then just rename this to area button practice. Okay, and if I go to the website URL, which is there, example buttons, I'll paste it over there. Area, that is nothing but a link. So yeah, so this is not a link. So inspect element, move to the accessibility tree, check this, the name is mute over here. I'll give the name as mute. What is it type? The role is type of button, so I just need to mention button over here. Okay, so remove this, this is not needed, this is not needed, mute, and the next, right, pressed. Okay, it's pressed is false. Now if I go to this element and if I debug pointer over here, remove the only tag which is present up, go run the test in the debug mode. Yeah, you can see now it will go to that element. Let's check whether it is pressed or not. Yeah, it's clicked over here. So the attribute pressed over here helped, because the earlier it was not pressed in once we inspected the element, right, it is false over here. So by this way you can locate a button with the name over here and the pressed is false over here. So these options we can use. Now if I quickly move to something like a checkbox, okay, checkbox, Tomato. Okay, just I will go to a tomato. By the way, tomato is a fruit. Yeah, so you can go to this accessibility settings. Now you go to the accessibility, you check what is the name over here. The name is tomato. If this check is true, now the role is checkbox. So I'll quickly copy this URL. I will clone this test over here, and then if I name this area button practice, so I'll just name it area checkbox practice. Then I will go to this mixed thing, mixed URL, this mixed URL, paste it. The button raise, it's not button, right? It's a checkbox. So you need to copy this checkbox over here. So copy this checkbox, area role, then checkbox. What it is name is tomato. Okay, the name is tomato, and then I'll just remove this extra role which is present, and I will debug the test. Yeah, oh, it's, let me open the debugger mode. I have not put a breakpoint. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, now let it open the Chromium browser. Yeah, it opens the Chromium browser. As you can see, tomato is unselected. Okay, now if I execute the test completely, it says success. Now let's check the properties over here, right? So we had a tomato, right? So checked is true over here. What if I do something like checked role which is present? Yeah, you can see the roles over here. That is not options row. That is nothing but checked. Yeah, so checked, you can say checked is equal to false. Now if I debug the test, right, it will fail ideally because the element itself has a property that is checked is equal to true. So it will not find the element and it will fail. So we'll get an error. So yeah, let it execute. Let the default time get exceeded. Then we'll get a failure report. Yeah, it's running. It is trying to find the element. Yeah, we got an error saying that checked is false over here. But ideally, the value of checked is nothing but true over here. If I check this, yeah, it is true over here. So you need to mention true over here. So now if I run this test again, now run this. As you can see, it has been executed successfully. Now comes we can check for a radio button. Check for a radio button. Let's check for radio buttons. Yeah, radio button is there. Radio button using this. Yeah, thin crust pizzas and all this stuff is there. Now, as you know, right, we check for a regular crust. The content is regular crust, checked is false, and the role is radio over here. Now, if I simply, chalo, we'll do something like a thin crust pizza. Okay. Thin crust pizzas, radio practice. Now you go to this URL which is present. Then we should go to thin crust. So this is the thin crust. The name is thin crust. I'll copy the name. The name is thin crust. Okay, the name is thin crust. The type is nothing but radio. I'll copy this radio and this option, right? The checked is true over here, but it is false. So I'll just leave the checked, remove the checked option which is present. I'll put a debug pointer, remove the only test, debug it. Now let's see. what happens. Yeah, you can see Chrome has launched, thin crust has been clicked with the name attribute. So this is done. Now I'll check for something like a home delivery. So home delivery is, the name is home delivery. I will copy this, I will paste it, I will paste something like where t is equal to 0, just the debugging purpose. Thin crust, the name is home delivery, radio and false. Home delivery, yeah. You can see radio, it has been clicked. Home delivery, as you can see, thin crust and home deliveries are clicked. So this way you can handle a radio button. Now comes the next part is we can go to something like a table. So we'll go to table. We can check something like a first name. Okay, so these are the contents of first name over here. Column role is equal to column header. Now if you go inside a get by role, check for column header. Yeah, it's present over here. So whatever the roles are mentioned over here, these are nothing but the ARIA rules. It will be always be present into the accessibility tree. Now what if I do something like Jefferson? Okay, so the name is Jefferson over here, the role is cell. Okay, so we'll fetch the contents of this table, of this basically cell. Copy this name, I'll just paste it. Now I'll go to this example tables, I'll copy this, paste it. This is not needed, this is not needed. I'll something like var name is equal to this, console log, the name is, the name is, it will make sense like this, name is plus name. Okay, now I'll just go to the grid. So the role is cell over here. Okay, so I'll go to cell. Now what is the name is Jefferson. So if I go to this, I'll get Jefferson over here and just the text content. Okay, now table practice. Now if I do a debug pointer, so let's fetch the name of the company's header as well. So we can fetch the name of this company header, where company header, this is the company header, this is the name, company name is this, and if I go to the role, right, the role is column header over here. So the column header is, I'll paste it, the name is nothing but company, so the name is company, so I'll paste it. I'll put a debug pointer over here, debug pointer. Let's run the test. Yeah, we get the name is Jefferson, company header, the company name is company over here. So this way I'll just stop this execution, check the name. Yeah, the header is company. So this way you can fetch you can text of the column header using this get by role attribute. Now comes the interesting part, right? We'll go to this test by only. We'll go to some another practice tool. We'll go back. We'll check for something like a checkbox we have done, button we have done. Yeah, so we'll go for a button. Okay, so this is our widely used, and we will be using buttons everywhere, right, in our automation. So this is a button. Yeah, this one is already done. Button is done. Alert is done. Alert, we can do something on alert basis. Trigger event alert. Yeah, so I'll go to this. Now you can say the role is button over here. The name is trigger alert. So you will do get by role. Name is trigger alert and the role is button. So this you need to do. So if I refresh the page, I'll go to alerts again. Check focusable is true. And if I click on it and again inspect the element, focusable is true over here. So yeah, you can do this same thing over here. Now let me go to Amazon. Yeah, Amazon is there. You can check for any headers. Okay. H3 headers. H2. Yeah, we can see there are some H2 headers as well. Okay. Now if you check the headers, right? Headers in HTML. Okay. Headers in HTML. Yeah. So as you can see, this is header. So header typically consists of one or more heading element. That is nothing but H1 to H6. Now H1 is the first level, H2 is the second level, H6 is the sixth level. Okay. So now if we go inside this header practice, I'll put a header practice over here. Now inside if we go get by role, right? So inside this get by role, there is a column called heading. Okay, roles called heading. And this heading, we can have something like a level. So the level defines at what level it is. Now if we go to Amazon, right? So this is an H2 level. That is means the level is 2 over here. I'll just copy the Amazon.in website. I'll go to this. I'll just remove this. So I will go something like heading name over here. This is not needed. I'll do something heading name. Copy this heading name. Yeah. So if I go to Amazon, I'll check for this tag, right? So I go to accessibilities and check. Though the role is heading over here. Now the role is heading over here. And if I come to the level is 2 over here. So I put a level 2 over here. Okay. Get by role heading level 2. And if I give the name, okay, the name is nothing but I can give something like an H2 keyboard and shortcuts. So we'll give the name as keyboard and shortcuts over here. Copy this, paste it. My bad. Yeah. Then there we have a something like level over here. This is not a number, so it's a number. So yeah, we should have a level 2 over here. And if I debug the script, yeah, I'll just stop the execution of earlier. Yeah, 1 second. I'll close this tab, close this. Not needed. I'll just remove the only tag which is above. This is the only tag which is above. Yeah, I'll just close this. Run the test. We navigated to Amazon.in. Then we check the console.log and we check the name is keyboard shortcuts over here. Now the test has successfully completed. Now what if I put a level as equal to 1 over here? Okay, now we just run the test. As you can see, uh, the test will fail because the level is 2 over here, not the level 1. As you can see, the test failed because it was not able to find that element using level 1. So I'll just go, we'll go level 2, stop this reporting part. Yeah, so as you can see, keyboard shortcuts is there. Yeah, now we checked about the radio buttons, links, headers and everything. Now we'll check about the forms. So I just came to an example form which is present. I'll go to the name tab, similarly inspect it, and I'll go for the accessibility, and then you can check the role is nothing but text box over here. So I'll quickly spin up my test. I'll copy this name, paste it, remove this only from the tag test. We'll go to form backtrace, and then I'll go to landmarks.form.html, then remove the things, paste this. I'll go to the role is text box, so the role is nothing but text box. The name over here is nothing but the name. Yeah, the name is name. Funny. Yeah, the name is name. This level 2 is not needed. We'll just go and fill the name over here. Name is Aniket Khaire SDET, and then copy this and I will paste. What? Sorry, my bad. Let's undo this. This is not needed. We are sending the keys and copy this. Another locator, I can create one. Get by role, and I will just add some email. Email. This is the name. Email. Yeah, email is done. Follow the YouTube channel. I'll just give you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Why this 4 came over? Just remove this 4. Let's put a debug pointer. Now I'll run the test. As I say, the form is opened. Aniket Khaire, that has been entered. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is also entered. Yeah, this way you can check for the text boxes. Now we can go to back and we'll check something more than links already is done. So link is W3 website, role is link, the name is W3 single contents website. This is done. This is something like a alt tab is there, so the name is also W3C website, and similarly you can use get by role, that is link, and the name will be W3C website over here. Okay, and the next radio button. So we'll move to radio button again. Yeah. This is not a sample. Radio button group. Where is this? I'll move to checkbox, I guess. Yeah, we can move to the checkbox. Then we can move to on this tab again. Okay, so now if I check, checked is true. So if you want to do something like is visible on this element, so just check the property as checked is equal to true, and we'll create something like checkbox tomato with the role is equal to checkbox, name is equal to tomato, and the options will be checked is equal to true. Then we can uniquely identify the element whether it is clicked or not. So this may be useful in default options where you are landing on some page and then the checkbox will always be clicked, right? So in that cases we can use this kind of this getByRole locator. And let's check for more, like getByRole, grid is done, text box is also done. Now we can check for form is also done. We can check the contents of the form as well. Yeah, so overall this is about the getByRole locator. Now to quickly summarize it, right? Over here we are using the accessibility tree to locate the elements, and this is by default suggested by Playwright. You are not using the page.locator directly, which we uses the DOM structure to find an element. Yeah, so this is all about the you can say getByRole. Hope. Now an interview question: why use getByRoles? What is the advantage over locators? Now you can answer like this: it locates element based on the accessibility tree, as we discussed, not the raw DOM. It uses accessible names and semantic roles, exactly how screen readers understand the UI. This makes locator stable, user-centric, and accessibility friendly. Next time in an interview, don't just say I use getByRole. Say why it works, how it works using the accessibility tree. If this change how you look at the Playwright locators, hit like and subscribe for more real SDET content coming up. Bye.